They say New York never sleeps. But that night, the city felt dead quiet, like it was holding its breath, waiting for me to make the biggest mistake of my life. I've always believed that love is loud. Fireworks, laughter, the rush of a heartbeat you can almost hear echoing in your chest. But the truth is, sometimes love dies in silence. And mine did, right there in a cramped apartment on 43rd Street, with the rain tapping on the window and my heart screaming words my mouth couldn't say. His name was Michael Carter. We met 3 years ago at a diner off Lexington Avenue, the kind of place that never closes, smells like burnt coffee, and somehow feels like home at 2 a.m. He was sitting alone, sketching something on a napkin. I was studying for my nursing exam, exhausted, caffeine shaky, and out of patience. He looked up, smiled, and said, "You look like you're trying to save the world." And I told him, "No, just trying to survive it." That was the beginning. He was an architect, quiet, but full of dreams. He'd talk about designing buildings that felt like they could breathe, glass and steel that let in sunlight the way love lets in warmth. I fell in love with the way he looked at the world, like even broken things could be beautiful. We moved in together a year later, a tiny apartment in Brooklyn with leaky pipes and a view of a brick wall, but it was ours. We'd dance barefoot in the kitchen, burn pancakes on Sunday mornings, fight over toothpaste caps, and then make up under cheap string lights. Those were the good days, the simple ones. But love doesn't stay simple in New York. The city eats time, devours it really. He started working late, chasing promotions, while I pulled double shifts at the hospital. We became roommates with memories. Two tired souls orbiting the ghost of what we used to be. The night it all ended, I still remember the smell of rain and burnt coffee. He came home past midnight, shoulders soaked, face blank. I asked him, "Where were you?" Not because I didn't know, but because I did. He hesitated. And that pause, that silence, it said everything. "I met someone," he finally said. Just like that. No apology, no explanation, just truth. Raw, cold, and merciless. I didn't cry at first. I just stood there, watching the man I built a life with tear it down like one of his blueprints gone wrong. Then he said, "I didn't mean for it to happen." And I whispered, "They never do." He left that night. No dramatic goodbye, no begging, just the sound of a door closing and my heart collapsing with it. Weeks turned into months. I kept working, pretending to heal, but every street corner felt haunted. Our diner, our bench in Central Park, even the damn subway station where he'd kiss my forehead before work. New York had turned into a museum of our memories. Then, one morning, out of nowhere, I got a letter. Not an email, not a text, a real paper letter, the kind no one sends anymore. It was from Michael, postmarked from Boston. He wrote, "I think about you every day. I made a mistake. I'm coming back to New York next week. I'll be on the 8 p.m. train to Penn Station. If you can forgive me, meet me there." My hands were shaking. For the first time in months, I felt something that wasn't numbness. Hope. Stupid, fragile, beautiful hope. I told myself I wouldn't go, that I was stronger now. But deep down, I knew love makes fools of us all. That Friday, I went. It was freezing. the kind of cold that bites through your gloves and into your bones. Penn Station was chaos. People running, shouting, hugging, leaving. I stood by track 7, heart pounding. The train from Boston was delayed by 20 minutes. Those 20 minutes felt like a lifetime. Then it arrived. The crowd spilled out. Laughter, suitcases, hugs. And there he was. Michael. He looked older, tired, but when his eyes met mine, everything else disappeared. I wanted to run to him, but something inside me whispered, "Wait." He smiled. Then a sound. Screeching brakes, shouting. Someone yelled, "Look out!" I turned. A runaway luggage cart was sliding across the wet floor. Michael stepped forward instinctively to shield a little boy in its path. He pushed the child away, but the cart slammed into him, hard. Everything froze. I ran, screaming his name, "Michael!" People were calling for help. Someone said, "Call 911," but I knew. I'm a nurse. I knew from the way his chest rose, and then didn't. I held him, right there, in the middle of Penn Station, rain from his coat dripping onto the floor, the noise of the city fading into nothing. He tried to speak. His lips trembled. "Sarah," he whispered, I was coming back." And then silence. That's how it ended. The love that began over burnt coffee and late-night laughter ended with a single act of kindness. It's been 2 years now. Sometimes I still walk to that diner, sit at our booth, order his coffee, black, no sugar. People think healing means forgetting, but I don't want to forget. Because forgetting would mean erasing the only man who ever made New York feel like home. They named a small park bench after him outside the station. Every winter, I leave a letter there. Just one line every time. "You made it back, Michael. Just not the way we hoped." I like to think he still rides that last train, somewhere between here and forever. If you've ever loved someone you couldn't save, don't run from it. Let it hurt. Let it shape you. Because pain, it doesn't mean the story's over. Sometimes it's just the proof that love was real. And if you ever find yourself standing in Penn Station, listening to the echo of the trains, maybe you'll hear it too. The faint whisper of two hearts that almost found their way back. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, share it. Because sometimes the world needs to be reminded that even in tragedy, love still leaves light behind.